Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Friday, August 26, 2022. It's about 3:20 in the afternoon here on the East Coast of the United States. Everybody was, waiting with bated breath to examine the redacted affidavit submitted by an FBI agent to Judge Bruce Reinhart, which persuaded the judge to sign a search warrant for the home of former President Donald Trump 3 weeks ago. Now it's sort of a ho-hum. As predicted, not just by me, but by those of us who are in this business and have done this many times before, once the judge permitted the redactions, the blacked out parts, it was kind of apparent to us that we wouldn't learn anything new from the affidavit. It's 38 pages long. It's in a couple of sections. One section is about the FBI agent, him or herself, and that person's background. Another section is about the investigation of President Trump, which began with a request by the National Archives for documents that they knew he had removed from the White House. Another section is about the statutes that they contemplate charging him for violating, or at least that they're investigating to see if they have enough evidence to charge him. And then the last section is totally blacked out, and that is the how they knew what they knew when they told the judge they had to get in there right away and take documents. So I'll go through this in order. We don't know who the FBI agent is. We won't know that ever unless or until somebody leaks this secret document or President Trump is indicted, in which case this affidavit is relevant to the case and would have to be given to his lawyers in toto, not in redacted form, so that his lawyers have a chance to examine the background, the intellect, the honesty of whoever this FBI agent was. If he's not indicted, then that's not relevant, and Trump's people and the public may never see the redacted portions of the affidavit. We did learn some interesting things. The affidavit tracks the interaction between the Justice Department and former President Trump's lawyers with respect to the DOJ's efforts, initially by, not the DOJ, initially the National Archives, and then the DOJ, to get these documents back. And when the National Archives asked the former president, he was only former president for a few days at this point, we think you took too much stuff with you. An interesting request. Not you're hiding something, you have anything that's classified, just we think by mistake you took too much stuff. He said no, they said yes, he said no, they said yes. Finally, they said, can we send somebody down to look at it? He said yes. They came down and they identified about 15 boxes that should have stayed in the White House. They brought those boxes back, they began going through them, and they saw documents marked top secret, which people at the National Archives do not have the classification to examine. So they called in the FBI agents. FBI said, what should we do with this? The FBI said, we'll go through it. The FBI went through the 15 boxes that President Trump voluntarily gave to the National Archives, and they found 184 documents marked confidential, secret, or top secret. We're not really worried about confidential. We're concerned about secret and top secret. In the top secret, they found a few dozen marked SCI and SAP, meaning there's information in there, whether classified or not, that is national defense information that no one is allowed, not even a former president, even if declassified, to possess in a non-federally approved venue. So if Donald Trump wanted to read these documents after he left office, he would have to get permission to go to a federally approved venue where Wi-Fi doesn't work and surveillance is impossible, and he could have gone in there and read these documents to his heart's content. But possessing them in the non-federally approved venue, that's what the crime is that they're looking for. The other crime is bringing them there. And the third crime, and this is mentioned twice in this affidavit, and it's a little startling to me, and it should be startling to the president's supporters, and you all need to know about this, is that the FBI said twice, we're concerned about destruction of documents, alteration of documents, and then gave the reason why they're concerned, and that reason was blacked out. So it's gathering and removing, keeping and concealing, altering or destroying. Those are the three statutes for which former President Donald Trump is being investigated. These are criminal statutes. These are not administrative statutes. This is not like filing your taxes a week late. These are criminal statutes for which the penalties upon conviction are severe, like 10 years in jail for each. They all emanate from the Espionage Act of 1917. I've argued that act is unconstitutional, but the courts have upheld it years ago. It hasn't been challenged in recent times. However, it is the same statute that the Trump Department of Justice used to indict Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Okay, I want to keep the politics out of it, but it's bitterly ironic that this statute now being used to commence an investigation intended to lead to a prosecution of Donald Trump is the very same statute that his DOJ used to go after two people that most libertarians and freedom lovers believe are both heroes for exposing the government's wrongdoings, Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Back to the affidavit. Some of you have asked after my interview today with Jay Johnson, the former General Counsel to the Air Force, General Counsel to the Department of Defense, Secretary of Homeland Security, who gave us pretty much an instruction on classification and declassification. Some of you have asked, well, if Trump in fact did declassify, but just forgot to tell people, can he still be charged with a crime? The answer is yes, because the documents contain national defense information, which is unlawful for anyone to possess who's not expressly authorized to possess them. And Donald Trump is no longer expressly authorized to possess them. It doesn't matter if they're classified or not classified. At the same time that the affidavit was released, around noon today, the Department of Justice released a 10-page document explaining why it redacted what it redacted. And that's frustrating to lawyers and judges and ex-judges and even folks not trained in the law reading this and trying to figure out what it means when you come across something, I really want to see what this is, and it's redacted. The explanations are fear of retaliation of witnesses, fear that more witnesses will not come forward, and presenting a roadmap of where the FBI and the DOJ are going to the president, former president. Now, normally, when the government's investigating you, you don't get a roadmap of where their investigation is going. However, in that document, just like there's little things that can tell us, little thing I pointed out to you a few minutes ago, 184 classified documents in the boxes that Trump gave back, which told them there must be more. A letter from his lawyer saying, we gave you everything we have, which they now know was untrue. The second document, the one that indicates why they redacted what they did, said they spoke to many people at Mar-a-Lago who were familiar with where the former president, kept his documents. We all thought it was one planted undercover FBI agent or one Mar-a-Lago employee whom the government flipped. According to this document, which is sworn to by two federal prosecutors, there were many people at Mar-a-Lago and around Mar-a-Lago in the president's orbit to whom the FBI agents spoke, and they didn't want to reveal the names of any of them, and that was the reason for the redaction. So yes, we did learn some things today, that the feds have many witnesses and that they had many documents before they even conducted their raid, which were criminal to possess, whether classified or not, because they're NDI, national defense information, again, which is illegal to possess by anyone outside of a secure federal facility. So that's where things stand today. We learn a little bit new, not as much as we wanted to learn. The lawyers for the federal government, I don't like to second guess lawyers, but the feds, and it's hard for me to say this as somebody who almost always roots for the underdog. The federal lawyers, the feds have totally outclassed Trump's lawyers in the quality of the documents they have prepared and in the timing of their documents. Trump's lawyers should have been prepared for this today. They should have filed documents attacking it in a sophisticated way, citing Supreme Court rulings to attacking it. Instead, we got one paragraph from the president saying the judge was a jerk. Well, that is no legitimate, valid, legal defense. Trump's people are running a political and PR defense. They need to be running a legal defense. The feds are serious. They have serious evidence of serious crimes, and Trump needs to be defended seriously and by serious people. Judge Napolitano for Judging Freedom.